Hello again, folks. KR King here, helping you homebrew your own D&D campaign. So, as I mentioned in my last video, for a few weeks here, my beautiful studio is going to be out of commission. So I thought I'd do some videos where I do screen record, some mapping videos, Dungeondraft and Wonderdraft, some ideas in terms of creating encounter maps, larger maps. I'm going to, I think, redo my original continent of Melanor that I used for my homebrewed campaign. So these videos, I'm going to just welcome you each time and then shoot the thanks for watching video. So today we're going to talk Dungeondraft, and I'm going to create a battle map, a plug-in encounter that I can put into an existing map. So I'm going to take this, but the idea is also that I might be able to plug this in anywhere. And so we're going to see as I go through the map and try to place this in. All right, so this is a map that I created in Dungeondraft earlier for an encounter in the Barren Hills area. And as we can see here, if we zoom up here, you know, my idea was that the characters are going to go along this road. Maybe they would have an encounter here. Maybe they'd have one along in here. And in fact, I asked my viewers to come up with some ideas for encounters. And one of the things was, I had a viewer, Lauga Christofferson, who loves swarms. So I had some swarms of scarab beetles come out of this. And I created, as you can see, this little section here from this video that I made on the fly. I created a mummy's tomb. And if we go to the mummy's tomb, here it is. We have the sarcophagus, some mummies, and this spiral stair. If we compare our levels here, the ground level and the mummy, we can see this is where the entrance underneath this rock. If we, compare, maybe get the ground a little stronger. Now we can see this stairs is coming under this rock. The players discovered this. So I drew this very quickly. Do I want to connect this up? I don't think so, only because I want to be able to make this an independent adventure. I do think if I'm going to use this with this map, then probably what I'm going to do is make it the same civilization, you know, whoever was mummified here, this court or whatever, it's the same time period, the same people. So do I want to have something under this spring? I don't think so. In theory, it goes far deep into the ground. That kind of limits me. Also, this water here, this is a gorge that goes deeper and deeper. I want to use this feature, especially where it goes down back into the ground. I also have this mesa right here, which can go as high as I want. I just made these cliff features. I don't really give it an elevation. You could have it 50 feet, 100 feet, whatever. I think I'm going to have something going up here. The other feature that I have is this ravine with these thorns and briars. So maybe I'll use this. Maybe I'll have a cave that comes out of here and figure out how the players might notice this. All right, so I'm going to make a new level. So I create a level, and I'll say ravine, ravine cave, okay, and accept. And it shows me this right here. So in order to be able to see this, I'm going to compare this with the ground level, right? And I'm going to sort of go like this so that I can see the two. That way, when I start creating something, I can see where it is in relation to the topography above. So I'm going to start off with a cave. What I want to do here is I want to sort of go down and make a chamber down here under the mesa from this entrance. But I'm thinking this is kind of a short distance. Again, the unrealism, these are only 5-foot squares, would be rather short. So maybe I'll start, and let's see, what do I want for my floor? I think I'll make it a little bit brighter floor here, except, so I'll have the entrance right here, and it'll kind of go along like this, and come around to say here, and then I'll make that a little bit bigger. Although I want that entrance, this is blast open to make the entrance like so. And if I turn off, all right, compare the ground. Oops, I don't want that. Turn the big cave, maybe like this. you know, and this gets kind of narrow, whatever. I like this turn thing because if there's anything there, what would be there, I'm not sure. But, you know, you never know if something has dug its way in. Okay. And then I'm going to blast this open here. And I'm going to make a chamber that I think is going to be the size of the Mesa. So I'll have, let's see here, stone walls. I'll start off just the size of the Mesa itself. Okay. And I will put a door there between, like so. There we go. All right. And maybe I'll turn off the compare levels. I want to rotate that. Select. Maybe I can select that. And just rotate that. The entrance there. Okay. So now I have this room. As I said, I've got this Mesa here. So I'm going to make a stair that goes up all the way to the top of this Mesa. Stairs, say here, and let's see, maybe make it a little bit bigger. So this will be where the Mesa, where you climb to the top of the Mesa. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to subdivide this, but let's just continue on. Once we have this, I'm going to go along. I'm thinking I have this gorge here, and this is deep, deep, and I think I'm going to have something that comes out into there. So I'm going to build. And I'm going to come off of this. Now, there's a couple ways to think about this. In reality, it's much easier to make a dungeon in an area like this where you just dig a trench and sort of fill it in or whatever, as opposed to going under this big thing. But of course, this is a fantasy world. We're just having fun, interesting. So I'm going to sort of mirror that, but it doesn't really matter how they would do that, how they would get that under there. Okay. So let's just make, go sort of like this. And we can be creative. And I'm just going to parallel. I don't want to go under this river, right? Because that would be dangerous to go under there. It would work its way in. All right. And you come over like this. And I'm going to end this chamber right here. All right, there we go. And it's kind of a strange shape. Let's look at it without comparing our levels. This is kind of a strange shape. Maybe I want to add something. I'll go to Edit Points. I'm just trying to think of something cool. Let's see. That piece, it's weirdly shaped, I know. Because what I'm thinking is, I will put an object there like a statue of some kind, right? Some weird thing. Turn off my snap so that I can put it wherever I want. And there's some kind of offering or something. Maybe there'll be a fountain here. That people made offerings to the god of some kind. And of course, potentially, you know, a guardian. Now, one thing I am going to do is I'm going to save, always save. I've had crashes many times with Dungeondraft. It gets confused at times. Okay, so now I know that I've saved it. Then I think I'm going to have a chamber here. I'm going to put a door in here. And I may have to include a, let's see here, portal. All right, let's look in here. And as you can see, because I made that a little wide, I may have to add a door. So I'll just go like this. So I'm going to add a wall in here. There we go. Doesn't look tremendous. I've already got a stonework there. And then I'm going to make this into a, you know, an entrance room. And again, I'm not sure what I'm going to have. I'm thinking, you know, some sort of guardians or something, but maybe there's another, you know, some kind of, Let's see here. Those are gargoyles. I'll have 2 gargoyles in here to scare the locals, right? When the players see these, they're going to be freaked out. Maybe there were priests or something locked up in here. So what you do is you sort of, they're going to be like 5 feet, you know, scattered here, right? Maybe there were 2 people left here to guard, you know, after it was built or something. I don't know. I'm going to think about this later. Right now I'm just trying to make it. Okay. Then I have to have a door between portal. A door here anchored. I'll put a door there, and then I'll put a wall here. And then maybe just move this a bit, just a little, just to center of the room. Checking to see up top how I look. Yeah, that's going to open up on the Mesa. Seeing that right there on the Mesa, so that'll be fine. All right. So now I have, you know, I have this where the players enter if I want to have something here. And I also have the ravine, right? Right here. So I'll have something in these briars, you know, a blight or something like that, some plant-based thing. The potential for an encounter here, obviously. Yeah, well, this is an open cave, right? So this is going to attract creatures. So you can have something living, say, in here or something. Then this is sealed. This is something where whatever lives here hasn't gotten. So this is going to be, that's why you have the sort of gargoyles, any kind of constructs or things that don't need, you know, food or water or whatever. And then we're going to go down this hallway. I have this shrine here. And then I'm thinking that this I'm going to have an entrance, one that's on the cliff and then maybe down underneath. Put a door there, freestanding. Because again, I have this sort of, so I'm just going to snap that, turn that on, put it right in the middle, turn off that. There you go. Let's see here. How might we do this? Do we want this to be an opening here? You could have a little shelf that comes out here that's halfway down the ravine. That will have a door there, right here. And I'll create kind of a, like something like that. All right, and what that does is that kind of sits out over in the middle of this ravine. You know, they threw people into the, you know, churning waters or something, right? I will create a stair. Here that goes down. All right, so this is basically good for a standalone, but I'm going to create some different ones that might be just unique to this. First is our Mesa, right? We're going to compare this, if we compare it to the ground, and if we go like this and show, there's the Mesa. So I'm going to have something out here in this Mesa. So what I will do is I will create a new level, and I'll call this, you know, Mesa Chamber. Well, for now I'll keep this here, so because in the Mesa Chamber, all right, so now I'm going to create a chamber. I'm just going to change this up a little bit, and I'll turn the snap off. And I'll just do something like that. I don't know. It's not quite, but I want to have room for this stairway. So if I don't compare, I've got this. But I do want to compare because I want to make sure that my stairs line up. And I want to make this a different color. Sure. Well, no, I'll make it the same color. So what is this chamber? I have no idea. Maybe it's going to be a sacrifice. Just to remind myself, I'm going to put some statues in here. Again, I use these statues because they stand in for any kind of automaton or any kind of, some kind of construct or whatever that doesn't need food or air, if that's what I'm going to do for this. Or it's just going to be some creature that's in here. So what I do is, this is just to remind me, I haven't decided yet. Okay. And like so. And this stair will keep going to the mesa itself, right? So what I'm going to do to have the mesa itself is I'm going to go to the ground level and I'm going to make a little pattern here. And I'm going to compare this level to the mesa chamber. Okay. And I'm going to make a little, let's see, maybe this here. That's close enough. Maybe I will grab this, copy it, and put another one, and just have that like that. So that this thing is covered. This is the exit onto this. And then I have to decide what I'm going to put up here. And for now, what I will make, I have the statues. What else can I have? Let's see. If I look at the, let's see, temple stuff. What have I got here? What is this? Brazier. Maybe an old brazier in the center of this. Turn the snap off. And this is where they conducted some kind of rites, right? And what you can also maybe put some skeletons, you know. Maybe they, you know, a dragon's skull, right? I don't know. Something that, things were sacrificed here. You know, animals, things that were left to rot. Obviously, if this is a dragon skull, it needs to be a little bit bigger. And of course, the players are not going to be able to see up here because this is really high up. You have to make that true. They have to either climb the sides or come up through these entrance here. The other thing that I, of course, have here, where's my levels? Mesa chamber. Let's turn that on. All right, and then what is in here? This is halfway up the hill or whatever. And then I'm going to make, I think, one more. And I'm going to say water level. Okay, and I'm going to compare to the ground. Okay. And I'm going to make something that goes down underneath this water. And I want to compare to ravine cave. I'm going to create stairs. And this links these levels. Compare, to the ground. Okay, so that's where the entrance and that's where the water is. So I will again maybe do cave down in here. Something like this. And then I'm going to blast this open. Okay. And I'm going to put water here, but again, this is going to be sort of flowing. I'm thinking like a wall of water, like a waterfall or something. Okay. But it doesn't flood this for whatever reason. So maybe I make a little cobblestone wall along here. Now, it doesn't show up as well here, but this will be a wall that keeps the water from flooding the room. Okay. And I'm just going to create this water like so. just going to kind of go like that. And that just represents the water that's running down. So all you've got here, right, you've just got this image, this water here, this is a little wall, and what, right? What is going on here? Object, let's see here, we could have, again, more temple stuff if this is part of their deal. How about an altar? Turn off. Okay. Turn that a little bit more. Sort of like that. All right. So now I've got this level. Again, I'm going to decide what I want to do with all this. These might be part of the plugin. Again, the ground level, this is, if I'm going to use this, the complete thing is going to be on this map, whether or not it's connected to the mummy's tomb or not. So thanks for watching. Hope that was helpful. I encourage you to check out Dungeondraft. Excellent software. It's, one-time purchase, which I love. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe. I'm always looking for more. Please leave some comments. Tell me what you think, what you like, don't like. I love comments, and I always answer them. But most importantly, my friends, keep playing D&D and tell somebody else about it.